Hello and welcome back to Jackknives Reviews. I'm of course your host, Jackknives, and welcome back to Disneyland Month. Moving away from the Haunted Mansion, we now go into not specifically a ride, but a movie named after an area in Disneyland, which is probably already an indicator. Tomorrowland. An optimistic teen girl bursting with scientific curiosity and a jaded former boy genius inventor embark on a danger-filled mission to unearth the secrets of a mysterious place that's locked somewhere in time and space, that exists somewhere in both of their memories, called Tomorrowland. Well, just when I thought Jungle Cruise couldn't get any more boring. You may have heard of the term bare bones storytelling. That is essentially where you take a generic concept and there's not much of a story to go off of it, but the adventure is the fun part. This is skeleton storytelling. This is corpse storytelling. This is a rotting, festering corpse in the sun of storytelling, because there's nothing redeemable about it. What happens when you take 4 or 5 scripts with no real cohesion between them, a cast that clearly doesn't care about the work and doesn't even want to be there, and a director who, although iconic, is well past his prime as far as making the films that he's more well known for? You get this movie. With Jungle Cruise, I would compare it to an attempt at, fun adventure movies, with just a failed attempt. With Haunted Mansion, it was trying to stay true to the original works of what the ride was, as well as bringing in new elements for the fans to enjoy. This is... I hesitate to even call it a movie. There's nothing here. There's no hook. There's nothing to gain from watching this movie. I mean, the premise is weird. The first 40 minutes of the movie follows a character who's a kid and then just drops it. Not jokingly, just drops that story altogether and then starts up with a whole new character. That is such a cardinal sin in film. I think it's called quicksanding, where you do that. You basically have the audience just slowly sinking and they don't even realize they're gone. It's like that. And then you start off with this whole other character. And the premise is just weird. You have a girl who touches a random pin that allows her to travel to another dimension that's a future retro aesthetic place that it doesn't really make any sense. She touches a pin, and every time she touches the pin, she goes to this alternate world that just so happens to be in a weird field, and it's a weird future hyper-realistic facility that also looks really, really retro. It basically looks like what the 50s thought the future would look like, but it doesn't even look like that because it looks so bland. And then you have George Clooney's character as the somewhat deus ex machina character who basically knows everything but doesn't want to tell anyone, and he clearly doesn't care about anyone. So why is he even here? And yet he's there because he's important, but he's not important, and they don't tell you why he's important, and it's just infuriating. I had to literally drink an energy drink while watching this movie because I was falling asleep with how boring this is. I can't even explain to you how depressing that is. When a movie is so bad that you can't even stay awake for it, you know you lost the plot. When I was watching it, I thought, did anyone watch this movie? Did anyone proofread the script or proofread anything about it? And you know the worst part about it is, you can see from the storyboards, not the actual movie, the storyboards, that there was something originally here. I think it was probably like a kid like teleports to another dimension, but it's like hey, they got to figure out a way to get home. But it's like they're trapped. It's a fish out of water story where they have to relearn everything. Which I'm like, okay, that story's been done, but you could do something with that. Take some of the iconic parts of Tomorrowland. Which, also, why would you name the movie after a part of the park? When you go to Disneyland with kids, the areas of the park are where you go to meet someone, not where you go to enjoy yourself, if that makes any sense. When you go to Disneyland, you generally go, hey, let's eat at blank. Let's go on blank. Let's check out blank. You don't really say the name of the part of the park unless you're lost or you're trying to find someone. Hey, where are you? Oh, I'm in Adventureland. I'm over in Tomorrowland. Oh, I'm on Main Street. Why don't you just name it Main Street? Like at that point, it's so dumb. I don't understand who put the funding into this movie. It's sad. And like, this movie didn't just bomb, this movie plummeted like a rocket into the earth. This is such a bad movie. And honestly, I could tell why Disney wants to get everyone to erase this whole thing. This is the modern equivalent of the Song of the South for Disney as far as their box office bombs, which they seem to be doing quite a lot lately. It's just awful. If you can avoid this movie, avoid it like the plague. I give Tomorrowland 1 out of 5. Have you seen Tomorrowland? Let me know in the comments down below. Stay tuned because it's our final look into Disneyland Month. But till then, I'll see you next time.